Welcome back to All 32. This is your boy Jamual. Look, man, it's almost time, bro. We 7 days away from the start of the NFL season, and 10 days away from the first NFL Sunday. Can you hear your boy? 'Cause I can hear myself.
Bro, no, you did not just do that, bro.
Hey, you can tell I'm geeked up, man. The NFL season here, bro. I can't wait, man. I cannot wait. I had to plug that in, man. Can you hear your boy? Nicholas Sneed, can you hear
You
your boy?
want to say it again, bro? Like, you just going to take my lines? I'm about to copyright that.
I don't need.
That's crazy.
Hey, look, go ahead and copyright it, man. That's the first and last time I'm gonna say it. Well, I said it twice, so that's the last time I'm gonna say it. So, I just felt it was time to bring it back into the show for a brief minute. Cause I mean, it was perfect. It was a perfect moment. But anyway, I can't wait. Like I said, it's not only football season, but it's gambling season, and I'm ready to make up for a bad 2016 and cash in on some parlays. I know Nick, I don't know what your 2016 season looked like, but my shit was horrible.
So my shit wasn't my shit wasn't good, but I do know college basketball. I want some little things in that, but NFL, bro, it's the Titans' fault. It's like that whole division messing me up. Titans, Colts, Jaguars, Texans, like they killed me all season. Like I ain't banging with them this year.
Oh no, yeah, the Jags fucked me up, bro. It was the Jags. It was another team I was mentioning about.
Titans probably because they suck.
Nah,
Shout out to Ryan.
I bet with the Titans. I bet with the Titans a couple times, and they wasn't the reason why I lost my parlay, but they helped me out when I picked them. But it was definitely the Jags that was probably fucking me. I ain't gonna lie. And sometimes I be winning with the scares, bro. I think I went over last.
Only thing I never bet with you.
Well, I mean, it's because I know my team. The question is, would you bet on the Cowboys? Like for you,
I don't bet on the Cowboys. Only game I bet with the Cowboys, I think, was Cleveland, San Francisco.
I lost. I think Cleveland fucked me up too. I think that's the other team. Yeah, Cleveland fucked me up because I bet on Cleveland when y'all played them. And a couple
the
of
first Green Bay game, I bet with the boys. I knew was gonna win. I bet my boys.
You said you knew or you thought
I
you
knew
knew?
we was gonna win.
For real?
Yeah. Sometimes you just know, bro. Also, the Ravens game, I bet with my boys when I done cover the spread. See how that went. But I think that's the same week. Ryan told me the Titans was gonna blow the Jaguars out, and they did. So,
Well, first and foremost, I should have told you to stop listening to Ryan when it comes to the Titans.
I knew the way the Jaguars season was going, bro.
But there's a couple things, bro. First and foremost, he's a Titans fan. So he's gonna think he's gonna win. They're gonna win every game. That's the first thing. Second thing is, I could have told you not to bet with him because of the fact that he's never steered me right when it comes to the Titans. He's never steered me right when it came to the Titans, bro. You can't say you won't get I think it'll be a close game or we might lose this one, bro. You'll always get we gonna win, bro. Bet on.
Nah, just know it was a couple games. So like the Denver game and the Chiefs game, Ryan thought they was gonna lose. I was like, Brian, y'all gonna win. I got a feeling y'all gonna win. Bet on them both weeks. They both won. And then guess what happened? I think the Jaguars probably fucked me up. I don't know. Maybe the Skins might have messed me up too, but I don't know what it is, bro. Like it's always one game that just blow my whole ticket, bro. But this year though, I think we're gonna be a little bit better. Some injuries came out, which is gonna help out some of my parlays. Bad to the teams, but like it's gonna be lit though. I think this season's gonna be lit. Make a couple trips to Delaware.
Oh yeah, it's always lit, man. Make a little bit of money, man. I'm trying to get back to my I think what was it, 20? Look, it's 2017 now. I'm trying to get back to 2013 at least, or 2014. Boy, I was getting. I think I told y'all my biggest one. I'm still new to the game. For those who talk who talk big on the gambling, I'm still new to the game. 5 years in, but my biggest payout was I think just under 1,000 on a only on a $60 $50 parlay.
That's
So
lit, bro.
I about to say I came up. I wasn't even, I was with it. I was with it for real, man. So I'm trying to get back to it.
That's so lit, man.
Uh,
That's crazy.
yeah, bro. But and we on that FanDuel. You do FanDuel or DraftKings? Cause I know
I
you
used
do.
to
I
do
know you do one of them.
FanDuel, but it's like I jump so up and down. It's like it's too much, bro. It's too much. So I ain't doing it this year. But also
I,
college football coming up. I think this weekend. So I'm about
yeah,
to
this
go
weekend.
ahead
Start
and drop
tomorrow.
these bets in, boys. About to be lit. It's blowout season. First 2 weeks, these chump games.
I'm not. First off, I'm not betting. I'm not betting the first 2 weeks of college,
It's
man.
games
Can't
you
do it.
already know.
Can't do it, bro. It's a trick, man, because you don't really know. Like, yeah, certain teams, because you don't really get into the media schedule like the first couple of weeks for certain teams, like, um, but like BYU, they played Rice. No, Stanford played Rice. My bad. Stanford played Rice last week, and they beat the shit out of them. They really not about to have no competition for at least a week and some
That's the
change.
best time to bet, bro. Like it's blowout season,
It,
bro.
it
It's
depends, cause they give you like a 30
be
point
right,
spread,
and
bro.
they be covering though. They do be covering. I'm about to bet. I'm
Hey,
gonna look at
look, I
top
don't
bet
touch them.
tomorrow, but I'm definitely about to.
I do need to
I'm
re
about to
up,
load
but
up,
I'm a
baby.
I'm a re up on payday, man. I ain't fucking with I ain't fucking with it no time soon, boy. But I'm definitely gonna be ready for week one. At the NFL, college, I'm gonna skip out on first couple of weeks. So I see what these teams looking like, cause I don't know not one team in the NCAA
Penn
for real,
State,
like in
bro.
terms of what they
That's all
roster.
you know. Penn State, FSU, Clemson, Bama. That's it. I heard USC supposed to be good, but
Yeah, USC supposed to be good. Well, they play shit. They play who they play week one? It's a good team. Is it Virginia Tech?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
I
okay. I
don't.
know they play Friday.
V Tech
I
ain't been
think or
good since
Saturday.
Bobby Bowden, so I ain't tripping on V.
Well, they weren't good this last couple of years either.
Tripping at all.
Oh no, I'm thinking of Frank
Oh,
Beamer.
the
I'm tripping.
game's lit, bro. You should. Hey, go look at this, John. Cuz go look at this game.
I look at it later, man. Hold on, wait. What games you talking about?
I mean, 40. Golly, these
Oh, it's a 40 point spread.
it's Clemson versus Kent State. It might be 59. So, hey, I
Nah,
got
G. See, games like that. I probably look at the over under, not the point spread. I do things like that
Northern and
just
Texas,
to
bro.
help
Hey,
myself out.
go look at these John. Cuz it's lit.
I know Maryland like a 2 score underdog. If I remember,
Hey.
or close to it. I know that
Oh
much.
my goodness. They got USC versus Western Michigan, who was actually I think they were good last year, but
That got to be South Carolina. That's not no. That's not South California.
they
Southern California.
it's USC bro, Southern Cal.
They play Western Michigan.
Yeah, week one, and they got them blowing them
Stop
out by
playing.
27. But Western Michigan do got some players, but they lost their coach, so I don't know how that's gonna work out too well.
I don't believe that, bro.
Uh, it's a lot, man. I would say go look at that, but Florida State, Bama ain't touching it.
Oh damn, you wasn't lying. It really is Western Michigan.
Yeah, bro.
That's wild. I would have liked to see that if Corey Davis was still there. I don't have any faith in Western Michigan
See
to make this a good
what I'm
game.
saying, bro? It's here for you. Trust me. Just
Yeah, man, I feel you, dog. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get into this show because we've been talking about gambling. We've been rapping for a little bit, but before we get into the meat of things, man, um, one of our Hogstyle friends and obviously co-host of the Hogstyle, Steve Thomas, is current. He's not a native. He's not a native of Houston. He's from Washington D.C. area, but he lives in Houston. And obviously we know what's going on with Hurricane Harvey. So J.J. Watt's uh, UCaring.com relief fund has raised over $6 million with the goal now set to 10 million. after only starting off asking for 500K. Um, I got a little quote from Steve Thomas and his words on an article that he, well, not an article, but just words and insights for donation links. Um, so he was like, there are thousands of people in this area who's lost homes and are currently in extremely dire circumstances thanks to 30 inches of rain with more to come. People being rescued by the boat from rooftops, families who had to climb into their attics to evade rising flood waters in their homes, parents who had to put their children on inflatable mattresses and pool toys to float them down rivers that were normal residential streets just 2 days ago. Entire neighborhoods underwater as a result of flooding rivers, creeks, and bayous. It's a desperate situation down here. This is the worst flood in the history of the city. We ask those of you who are able to donate money to reputable relief agencies to allow them to do their jobs and help those who have lost everything. The sites that we have, the links that we have listed is what Steve believes, and us that we believe are all safe sites to donate on. You could donate via Red Cross, United Way, Salvation Army, and Team Rubicon. All the information is in direct links you can find on our homepage at thehawkstat.com. Um, I think I have the links posted on our Instagram page too. Um, and I know it's probably on the Twitter too, where you can find it if you're on Twitter somewhere. So with that being said, man, it's tough. I know I'm when I get paid again. I talked about the gambling. I'm also gonna make a little donation to the situation down there. I'll make sure I get my little donation. For all you celebrities that's listening, Michael Baxton challenged you, you broke fools, to donate 50, $30 if you got it. Anything like that. So it's tough, and I rarely donate. I donated. I gave money to a friend's mom who passed. Well, a friend who passed away. His mother. To help pay for the funeral and stuff like that. I rarely donate, but in a situation like this, I kind of realize the severity, and I've seen the stories on CNN and Twitter. People who've drowned, um, families who've drowned in vans, getting trapped, swept by the currents of the rivers, the floods and stuff like that. So, it's a tough situation for everybody. And Steve, by the way, is okay. He did the show a couple days ago for the Hog Style with Mark Bullock as our guest. So his area wasn't hit as hard, but just a mile away from him is where the issues are, man. So I want you all to do what you can if you can. So with that being said, I guess we'll go ahead and get right into it, man. First and foremost, Joe Haden, the topics before we got here, kind of changed a bit, but mainly with Joe Haden, honestly. So Joe Haden signed with the Pittsburgh Steelers 3 years, $27 million over that span, 9 years per year, average annual value. Um, but I believe he's getting 7 at signing or something like that. So, um, the teams via Jason Lockman for were Pittsburgh, Miami, New Orleans, Philly, Kansas City, and San Francisco all within the mix. Obviously, he decided to stay with he decided to go with Pittsburgh and stay in the
Did you
AFC
say
North.
Dallas
Um,
on that list? I don't remember.
no, they were not on that
Dallas
list.
was
They were
on
not
the
on that
list,
list.
but go ahead. Continue.
Okay, Dallas was not on that list. So, but Nick, what are your thoughts on him staying in the North? Um, and also bypassing any other teams. Do you think he made a mistake, or was this just a deal? That's where he wanted to go. He made the right decision. It's probably is his best shot to make a Super Bowl, I guess.
I think it was a good move because they still got the killer bees on offense, and the only thing that's been killing the Steelers the past couple of years have been defense, and he can go there and revise his career. I felt like with the departure of a couple safeties they had, and a couple other pieces within that defense, Joe Hayden suffered the most, and that was a part of his decline the past year. So now that he goes to a team with a better team up front. You got JJ's Watt little brother, Ryan Shazier, James Harrison, and a couple other guys. Artie Burns is pretty good. You got Maurice Mitchell behind him, or Mike Mitchell behind him, and they got a group of core guys in Pittsburgh. So I feel like it's a good move for him. He could have came to Dallas though. I would have loved that. But or I think he should have went to the Chiefs because I think if he went to the Chiefs, that might put him in the Super Bowl. But him going to the Steelers is just about the same, and he gets to play Cleveland twice a year. So I think that was also a part of his decision making as well. But kudos to the boy Joe Haden, man. You're not on a 1-15 team no more. You can actually compete and be somebody. So I don't know, man. I'm happy for him. Good luck. We don't play him this year, so I don't care. We probably play him in the Super Bowl, possibly. But other than that, though,
All right. Well, see, this is where you get carried away. I need to take the mic from
I'm
you,
just
sir.
saying, man.
And give my comments.
You gotta speak it
But
into
the thing
existence,
is,
bro. Ask LeVar Ball. He
the,
spoke it into existence. I'm gonna do the same. Cowboys in the bowl versus Steelers or the Chiefs. Count it up.
so you just gonna disrespect the Patriots like that, huh?
What's funny is I don't know if the Patriots going back.
But you think the Chiefs is they got a chance of going higher than the
I do
Patriots,
think the
huh?
Chiefs can go. I do think they can go.
All right, your crack smoker. Let me go ahead and give my
But
opinion.
I also said
Um,
that if Joe with Joe Hayden, they probably a lot for bowl. But now I think they can still go though. They got the pieces, defense strap, um, offense. I don't even know who they got on the outside for real, other than Conley and Hill. But they got Kelsey. Running game always been straight.
I mean, I'm about to say that's really it.
They got. I know they got had
But
somebody else.
Spencer Ware out for the year
Damn,
now.
I did not know
So
that.
I don't. It's tough. Yeah, he tore his PCL and MCL. I think. I know he tore his PCL. I don't know if he tore. I think the other one was the MCL.
All
So
right, well then, Steelers. Put them on the board. They in the bowl, baby. That's what Steelers, Cowboys, rematch of the Ice Bowl. Come on, baby. It's lit. It's lit. Go ahead.
I thought the Ice Bowl was the Packers. No, it was the Cowboys. All right,
Come on,
okay.
bro. Come on, bro.
Um. Anyway, man. So look, personally, I think out of the teams that Lachlan Forum mentioned, that was the best choice for him. Um. And like you said, as long as he didn't go to the Eagles, uh, or for my sake, as long as he didn't go to Dallas or the Eagles, I really didn't care for him. Honestly, there was a lot of Skins fans on Twitter who wanted Joe Haden, who felt we should have traded for him, because he was on the trade block, and I thought they was all smoking the dipper. But but yeah. So with that being said, I'm just glad he's not in the division. Cause I do be rooting for Joe Haden when he was in Cleveland, just personally because he's from the area. But it's going to be hard to root for a fool that play for the Eagles or the Dallas Cowboys. With that being said, I do think like I said, he made the right choice going to Pittsburgh. Mainly for the same things you said, like their offense is always going to be potent. Whenever Big Ben can stay on the field, it'll be potent. I trust that there'll be another 10 win. It'll be another 10-win season coming out of Pittsburgh. Regardless of what that defense played like in the back end. But with the addition of Joe Haden, and the thing is, his last year was questionable because, well, hold on, wait, how old is Joe Haden? Joe Haden's like 28, right? 29.
We're like 28, I think.
All right, we're just gonna go with 28 right now, unless somebody can fact check it right quick while I'm talking.
Gotta go ahead.
Um, but yeah, Joe Haden, he's still essentially young. I'm pretty sure he's like around the same age as Josh Norman, who's 29. So like 28, 29, still relatively young. Um, and I'm pretty sure he has a couple years left in him. But the issue with Hayden, I believe, he's always dealt with nagging injuries. I think last year, 2 years ago, sorry, 2 years ago, I think he missed significant time. Last year he was battling through injuries. I saw an article where he said they had stated that him battling through injuries saved his career in Cleveland. Like the fact that he didn't get off the field saved his career. So, these type of things he's been dealing with a long time. Just constant injuries. And then on top of that, it doesn't help when you're not that good in coverage. Uh, like people, they don't fear you. They're taking turns with their number ones, going up against you, and they're not hesitant throwing you away. It's not. It hasn't been like he's not been getting torched, but he's just not up there with one of the greats like he used to be. His first few years in the NFL. So with that being said, I don't know how solid the move is to Pittsburgh, but I definitely think it bolsters their secondary because it was one of the worst last year. Preseason is a false sense of reality, so I cannot say how good or how much improved it was this year yet. But with Joe Haden, obviously, we'll see. But I definitely think it's an upgrade for Pittsburgh. Thomas, are you in here?
Yes, I am.
Yes, I am.
All right, man. Look, I saw you. I saw you whooping ass on the Chargers earlier.
Man, I was
Congratulations, man. What's your record now? 1-1 or two
nah,
and
man.
zero?
I'm 2-0. That record,
Okay,
hey,
join the
the box
team.
score does not tell the whole story. It was a pretty close game. I was up 6-0 after halftime. I scored 35. I
Oh, you
ran to the
just
next one. So
it must have been
God
turnovers or something like
damn,
that.
yeah, we were just trading picks, and then second half, I was like, talk to my guys. I knew we had to step it up. So hey, we made it happen
talk
in the
to
fourth.
my guys.
It's like wrong.
Did you hear what Montel just said in the chat, bro?
What was
How I'm
that?
gonna hear what he said in the
I
chat, man.
I, I heard. I meant
Don't you
you.
mean did I
Did
read
you
it?
read what Montel said in the chat?
I
I'm at the gym.
Nah, just listen to it, bro. I mean, look at it.
can't find my damn laptop. He said,
Why would she? Why would
he
she do
said,
that?
I think Shorty hiding it from me. Said no podcast for you tonight, buddy.
Oh boy.
She must. He must have told her. He must have told her that he had a show to do tonight. If that's the case, that's pretty. That's pretty. It's pretty despicable, man. We had a show to do and she's hurting business. It's like, nah, man. Let me stop. Let me stop. Let me stop. But yeah, so you said it was a close game, 6-0, and then you just had a 35-point outbreak in the third quarter. Well, look, Thomas, you've been down this road before. Look, for those who don't know, Madden just came out. We're gonna get back on track, but there's a lot of things to talk about. There's a lot of things to talk about. So, Madden just came out. We're in an online league, and we serious about this shit. You feel me?
They serious. I
So,
just come to play. Cause I'm a baller. And we
nah.
2-0,
See,
baby.
Nick. Nick think is sweet because he just joined. He really don't know what it's about, but he getting into a
Yeah,
world.
Nick,
He getting into an underground,
don't
man.
get
He
too
don't
ahead
he
of
don't know what he
yourself,
got
man.
himself into.
Bro, I'm 2-0, bro.
I
We
was
gonna
2
be
0. I
lit.
was
So
2 0
Thomas,
last year, man. It's crazy how things.
so
Well,
Thomas,
I
what's the
beat you,
outlook of your
so I'm
season,
better than
man,
you,
so
so
far?
I'm good.
Nick, you only use top teams.
Bro, I used one team that had no linebackers, bro. And I was over there picking you
Use
off,
the
bro.
Raiders.
They have no linebackers, bro. My other
I'm saying,
linebackers were 66 and 68, and you lost to them boys. You suck.
hey, man, gonna see in the league. That's where it really counts.
Hey, so so Tom, hey, whoever's making that noise, you gotta stop that, because I'm pretty sure it's picking up on the Skype jump.
Nick,
But yeah, man. So Thomas, what's the outlook on your season, bro?
hey,
What you think y'all gonna
man,
do? The Miami
we
Dolphins.
got a favorable schedule. I was looking at the users, and man, I don't see much comp, at least in our division. Maybe the Patriots. I don't know how that guy plays. I know they got a pretty good team already, so it doesn't take much for someone to be decent with them. Other than that, man, I mean, I got Ryan week 5. That's a dub.
Oh God,
Uh,
Dub
uh,
Nation, baby.
man, I scored,
Okay.
49 points 2 straight nights in a row. I've only allowed 2 touchdowns so far. I mean, that guy I was playing earlier, he was pretty good. His offense just wasn't, or maybe my defense was so good. I don't know. But
Sound
yeah,
good.
I mean, I have a pretty favorable schedule. I'm not playing any more of the tougher users that I've seen from last league. Doesn't mean that I, won't come across any, but hey, man, so far so good. We're gonna keep it up.
I say yeah, you in the AFC, so you probably face one every
I don't
season.
even play the
Cause
Steelers, so
you said you only play
I
the
said I
Steelers.
don't even play the Steelers. I mean, James probably gave me my.
I'm talking about in the NFC. Like most of the users, the good dudes from last season was in the AFC. That it was spread
Yeah,
out.
that's
Um, but now you got a good portion of them in the NFC now. So you probably only facing um, like I said, you only facing like one a year. Really, we got to see who else emerged in the league as a good player.
yeah, that's true.
So we'll see, man.
Yeah, Tom, just be lucky
Oh,
you
you
don't
got
got the
matter of fact,
Bears
I'm
in your
tripping.
schedule, man. They come to play.
Man, if we did, man, you would get just like those two guys from the previous two,
We
man.
average 7 picks a game, bro. We ball.
Bro, I just got 5 picks on with Phillip Rivers.
Why you got five
So,
picks in the first quarter? I mean, the
Oh
first
shoot.
half.
that dude was trash. I had the same amount of picks.
In the first half?
Yes, I actually had 5 picks. I had 3 picks in the first 3 drafts.
Yeah, cuz terrible though. He hit me in the group and was like, yeah, bro. Uh, he said something about his leg. He was like, you'll probably still beat my ass, but
First and foremost.
but he was like, but this leg crazy, bro. I was like, but you whipping my ass, though. I was like, yeah, I know, brother, I know.
All right, man. Let's get back on track now that we got that Madden talk out the way. Um, I talked about Joe Haden. Oh, excuse me. What are your thoughts, Thomas, on Because I was about to move on from the subject, but what are your thoughts on Joe Haden, right quick before we move on? Right deal, right place to land.
Man, it's funny that, that I almost called it. If I would have been a little bit more specific earlier in our group chat earlier, I was like, he's either going to the Raiders. I agree with Montel on that. And I agree with Montel when he said the Chiefs, because those would have been two good landing spots. But I also threw in the Steelers because
He said the Chiefs.
I knew they were weak on, in the secondary, and I was like, what better fit than, we've seen so many guys so many times go to a division rival as soon as they're cut, released, traded, etc. And that's what he just did. He just went to a Super Bowl contender, man. I feel like if there's a team that could beat the Patriots in the AFC, it's the Steelers, and they just pretty much added a great depth to their cornerback spot on defense, and they will come for the Patriots this year.
I got you,
I
man.
was a little
All right.
disappointed that he didn't go to the Eagles, but I was only getting in my mind that we could have two, home guys playing for the Eagles, upgrade that cornerback position. Man, we would have been something to fear for sure. But our cornerback group is still, man, it's still getting better. So I'm happy with the additional round, and we're definitely going to scrap the Cowboys, etc. That was the fan in me talking, but hey, I mean, we are growing, cornerback group, so. I can't wait for Sidney Jones to come back. I don't think we really needed Joe Haden. I mean, we could have added that veteran leadership, but I mean, we didn't necessarily, are in dire need of him anymore. That we got wrong. So, I mean, I think Pittsburgh is a great landing spot. I felt like he was going to go to a contender. I feel like he's in that spot in his career where he's looking, to at least make one playoff game. He hasn't been in playoffs his whole career, so it's about time, Joe. Good luck.
The same thing I said.
All right.
Same thing.
All right. Well, and by the way, for just an update, JJ Watt tweeted about a couple hours ago that they actually reached over 7 million now. So I said 6 million earlier, 7 million, and counting. So they're still going. So yeah, again, go ahead and donate if you can. All right, moving on. So I talked about Joe Haden, possibly being traded, and the Redskins fans all up and all trying to get the guy. Um, so obviously it didn't happen. He got cut, but there are a few people on the trade block. And Brock Osweiler, Matt Forte, Sheldon Richardson. Forte and Richardson obviously with the New York Jets. And a surprise one for me, TJ Ward, Denver Broncos, who the Browns was actually reportedly having interest in talking to uh, in order to get him back on Cleveland. So those four are the biggest names to this point. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure there's going to be more to come. Um, but I'm not sure which names. Actually, matter of fact, as soon as I just got an alert that the Chargers are shopping Dontrell Inman, a receiver, for Los Angeles. Um, he was okay last year, and he's not a great guy. He's young, so I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be interested in him especially with his size. I think he's like 6'3". Uh, decent speed. But anyway, with those 5 being on the trade block, um, what are your overall thoughts on those 5 fellas? And with Brock being on the trade block again, also likely means if he gets no suitors, he'll be cut. Do you guys think that Brock's career is over? I guess we'll answer that one first, and then you can talk about the rest of the guys and your thoughts on them. So, Nick, you go ahead and get the first stab at it, man.
Yeah. I think Brock's career is pretty much done. That's basically like saying to stop going your feet. He's done.
Sometimes they go in your hands. So
Well, I don't know what socks you got, bro, but
you don't remember Mankind?
oh my god, some of you kids don't even know who Mankind is, bro. But
Yeah, you youngins.
oh man, Socko, bro, like that is so crazy. Dang, childhood memories. But no, I do think his career is done. Deshaun Kaiser has looked good all preseason. Like he's looked really good. I wasn't even thinking he was going to be this good. I thought
Yeah, me neither.
I thought Deshaun was going to be the forefront guy, but he took a little back seat to Deshaun and Mitch, my boy Mitch. You know I love Mitch. You know what
You
I'm saying?
mean Deshaun Watson is because you got to distinguish
Oh yeah,
which Deshaun you talking
Deshaun
about.
Watson, not Deshaun Kaiser. But I mean Brock knows who he is. I think he still has guaranteed money regardless if he does get cut. Uh,
Yeah, so he could start a business
yeah, so
if he wants to.
he gonna be eating regardless. So he's straight.
Quarterback camp.
He's straight. I don't think he should have a quarterback camp because I wouldn't take nobody from his camp because he ain't good, and I don't think he teach somebody else how to be good. Um, but other than that, he gone, man. I see him.
Well, he could start a DB camp. Teach him how to read quarterbacks.
Oh man, but he's still not good though. So they gonna be getting all the wrong things. They be like, "Dang, this too easy." Then they go to the real life. Come on, man, he just not good.
So basically, he gonna get if he trying to do a football anything in football, he gonna get everybody fired.
He could be a I guess he can tell quarterbacks what not to do.
Well, he ain't gonna know what not to do because he do them all the time.
He
So he
should
think
tell
it's the
them
right thing to do.
He should tell them to do it. If they do what he does, they gonna get cut. So they should do everything that they do the opposite, and he'll be straight.
Look, I'm gonna go through these drills, man, and if I fuck up, you just do the
Do
opposite.
the
Okay,
exact
you don't do
opposite,
that.
bro. That's it. That's all you gotta do, bro. That's it.
Oh man. Okay, so we know how you feel on Brock, man. Is there anybody that stuck out to you that was on that trade block? First and foremost, the Redskins and Cowboys are interested once again in obtaining Sheldon Richardson. So I don't know if you knew that, but according to reports that we are interested in both our teams are interested in Sheldon Richardson. Now that he's back on the trade block. Uh, did that pique your interest at
Well,
all?
Mo, who you think said to look out for the boy? Once I heard the news that he was on the trading block, reached out to Jerry and Steven. We talked about it. Nice conversation, about 30 minutes, about what he could do to help our team. And he's a right now guy, so he can make a big impact. So I told him, look out for the boy. If y'all see they not asking for a lot, you shoot the gun, like a third rounder, fourth round pick. You know what I'm saying? We should get him. We should get him. So be on the lookout for that in the next this week. Uh, so
Y'all broke. Y'all ain't got the money for him.
first of all, we did some things to make some change. So we got a little something, something, bro. Don't hate. Um,
I wasn't hating. There ain't no reason to hate. Y'all just ain't got no money. Y'all
it
broke.
sound good, bro. We got the band.
Broke boys
We got
exclusive.
the. All right, dog. Just relax, bro. Just relax. Um, but I'm not surprised to see him nor Matt Forte on the list because the Jets have been trying to get some picks and try to rebuild for like the past who knows like the past like 4 years ish ever since Mark Sanchez and that defense left. um
Well, they wasn't trying to rebuild 2 years ago. Like they really thought Ryan Fitzpatrick was the answer in terms of taking them to the playoffs and possibly even further than that. And they were looking forward to him in 2016. And to nobody's surprise who watched Ryan Fitzpatrick over his entire career, he let them down big time.
He did. I might say it was more to let him down, bro. I was surprised to see how bad he played last year. I didn't even think like that was possible from him because the year he had prior was just so like fitzy.
Wasn't that great, bro. It was like 31-16, 31 touchdowns, 16 picks. Like it was still Fitzpatrick.
Oh, that's
He
solid,
just threw
bro.
for 30 touchdowns.
That's solid.
Yeah, it was a good year, but his completion percentage wasn't up there for real. Like he's a guy who can run the football too. So like when all those fails, he does have the wheels, and he's like a fullback. He does lower his shoulder. He be running people over. So I mean, like things work out. He did have a good season, but like it wasn't in terms of Ryan Fitzpatrick. He had a good season. He
Yeah,
had a
he
pretty
was
good season.
solid, bro. He was definitely solid. And then this year he just had was the complete opposite. Like he just everything he did the season prior to this, he just said, "F it, I'm gonna do whatever." Like we
I'm gonna do.
we ain't good.
I'm gonna
I
do
know we
whatever.
not good. I'm gonna try some stuff that I know wouldn't work, but I'm gonna still try it anyway. Or a little like a Jay Cutler-ish type season, but less arm talent of Jay Cutler to actually put the stuff in there. Um, but I was shocked to see T.J. Ward on there. I'm not sure if his contract is about to be up and he's looking for a big amount.
Yeah, his contract is up
Yeah, I have. Oh, okay. How about say I have not a clue.
after
So
next year.
I guess
So
it's coming.
yeah,
Okay,
they
so yeah,
definitely
maybe
don't pay.
he
It's
went to the front
1031.
office. Maybe he went to the front office and was like, "Hey, I'm trying to get some bands," but we all know only reason he good is because he got two solid corners on the outside and Von Miller.
Stop.
So
Nah, he's pretty solid.
I'm gonna say
it
he was cooking in Cleveland, bro,
it sounds
and all
good,
he had
bro.
was Haden.
But and he had Gibson, and he had somebody else on the other side.
Gibson was there for. No, Gibson was there after him, bro. Or if he was there together, that he was there for like a year, cause Gibson was there like 13 and 14, and TJ went to Denver, I think, in like 14, bro.
But look, bro, Cleveland has had some safeties the past like.
Yeah, they definitely did.
I don't know who else is there. But they
Dante Whitner was good there
I'll
too.
tell you what in there. They had a couple safeties, bro. Like I'm trying to, like he been in some good DB cores. Like he been around some good pieces. I'm not saying that takes away from him, but it could hell of a sure make you a lot look better. Like that just sounded so wrong, but
They can make you a lot look.
it can make you look a hell of a lot better than what you are.
I mean, name a
If you,
I
good
feel you,
safety
bro.
that has bad corners.
huh?
Can you name any good safety that have bad corners? Malcolm Jenkins. Not
Let's see
anymore.
how let's see how good you look this year, bro.
I had to take that one
Nah,
from you
I
before you
mean,
said something. No, it's not. My point was, it's not too many safeties that
Very
have
church, bro.
liabilities at corner. So
Very church. Solid guy.
all right,
I mean,
Byron Jones, solid guy.
Byron Jones, solid guy. All right, Thomas, how you feel about these guys, man? Anybody stick out to you? What about Brock's career?
I don't think Brock's career is over. I think it is over as being a day one starter. I feel like he'll be like a Ryan Fitzpatrick esque kind of quarterback if he is to end up with a starting job again. Mostly through injuries and teams not knowing where else to look. Brock Osweiler will probably be that consistent bench player. And I mean, if we look back to what was it, 2015? I mean, he came in for a struggling Peyton Manning and got their team back on their away from that losing streak that they were potentially going to go on. And he held the fort down until that playoff run they made. So it's not like that he can't do the job. I don't think he's a starter. I mean, we seen his numbers last season. They were awful. He went into a great situation and just underperformed. Looked like he was overpaid, obviously. Definitely didn't get his money's worth. he had a chance in Cleveland. That was probably the worst landing spot he could have landed in to salvage his career, kind of like a RG3, and that didn't work out either. So,
well, they overpaid when when Houston offers when the Browns give Houston a second round pick for Brock, and Houston all they need is Cleveland to buy this man up off the books, bro.
yeah, they
Like
knew.
it was a buyout, bro. They knew they messed up, son. So
Whoever pulled the trigger in Cleveland should be fired. So, so yeah, I mean that's how I feel about him. I definitely don't think. I mean, he should be in the NFL. I definitely think he's an NFL quarterback. I mean, you could probably find a rookie that'll end up being better than him, but he has the game experience. I feel like he could come into maybe a tough situation and just manage the game, kind of no more than that. And that's really my thoughts on him. T.J. Ward, I mean, he's in the back of his career. I feel like he can still play. I mean, I wouldn't compare him to Ed Reed, but just that level that they're playing at a older age in their career. I mean, they're still playing. He's definitely one of the top safeties in the NFL. If he lands on a team, he'll definitely make an impact to whatever team he lands on. I understand that the Broncos don't want to pay him, but I mean, that just seems to be the consistent sound of the NFL. As soon as a guy gets old, they don't want to pay him anymore. But I hope he, lands on a good team. I didn't have any in mind in prep for the show. I couldn't really pin down any. I know he'll find a home before the season starts, and he'll make some noise. Sheldon Richardson. I hope he doesn't land on the Redskins. That'll be a headache for all Eagles fans, including me.
yeah, y'all done already lost 5 straight, so it'll be worse if we can get him.
Hey,
man, y'all lost 5 straight.
We got
Man,
about
that's
7
sad.
days, and just for that simple streak, and that Redskins can't keep any streak alive, so that should end pretty soon, actually. And I'll be in attendance for that game, man. I'm gonna get some great flicks. So hey,
get to watch y'all lose up close and personal, huh?
Nah, man, not at all. We're gonna watch all the end zone dances. I'm gonna get them all, and that'll be consisting of all Eagles.
End zone dance.
Yeah, man, we're gonna be in there plenty. But Forte, man, I love that guy.
Shit, me too.
I watched him so much in Chicago, and I feel like they got rid of him too early. But I mean, they definitely found their replacement. But man, that guy's awesome. Even last year, splitting the carries, he still made an impact on the Jets, a struggling Jets team. He's kind of one of the few bright spots that they had, and he's just getting up in there in age, and it looks like the Jets are rebuilding, which is why they're shopping these, some of their top players around, which, I mean, I get. They're probably looking for draft picks, looking for top young guys, and, I mean, that's just the name of the game in the NFL. You got to move on from the veterans. It seems that they don't like to keep, people do, the end of the career, they go bounce from team to team when they're veterans, and just how it goes, I guess. Anybody else I'm missing from that? I think we covered everyone. I didn't.
Hey, so yeah, that's cool, Thomas. It's great to hear, man. I like your insight. But nah, man. So look, I think personally, I think Brock's career is over. Um, I don't think he'll ever see the field as like a end game, like a relief quarterback.
Anything.
Yeah, I mean, look, he might get an opportunity like to be in the training camp. Uh, that's about it. Like at this point, like the tape's been out on him. He's been exposed. I think the worst decision he made was leaving Denver the first time. Well, leaving Denver, period.
I agree.
Because it wasn't a second time for him. I think he saw his opportunity to make a lot of money, and he didn't hesitate. And that's not his fault. But at the same time, it's like, well, if you stayed in Denver, in a place where you were comfortable, your numbers will look way better, and your performance will be way better than you going to Houston in a system that wasn't even similar. Well, I mean, all of them are somewhat similar. Like they have some type language that's always familiar to you, but um, in terms of like the actual offense is it's just not the same. Like they were in a West Coast offense in Denver, and I can't remember the specific one in Houston, but it just wasn't that. Um, but anyway, point is different systems, and you took the money just to be just to get your bands up.
I don't think that was a
And
horrible
now
idea because you think if he stays in Denver, look at the defenses he has to go up against. He has to play the Chiefs twice a year. I guess Oakland isn't that scary on defense, but I mean, Khalil Mack is
I mean
scary at some of the games. I mean, and
I
he
mean
also has to
and the
play
thing is like
Kansas.
yeah I understand, but it's just still it's I mean like it's a familiarity with Denver as opposed to going to
No,
Houston,
yeah, I get
and
that too. Yeah, I agree.
that's just the issue. Like Bill O'Brien hated this man, bro. He hated Brock. He hated the fact that he had to start Brock. He hated the fact that they signed him. I don't even think he wanted him, if I'm not mistaken. I think the owners, like upper management, wanted him, and that's what happened with that. But point is, I don't see him seeing the field as a relief quarterback. Like I said, he might be a camp body, or he might be signed for a little bit, um, but don't last anywhere. Something like that. I don't know. But then again, it's Brock Osweiler. He's a name. Somebody will feel like they can he can be a reclamation project for them, and somebody's QB coach or offensive coordinator's claim to fame. So who knows? They might want to be like, we're going to give him a shot, even though it's not going to work.
I can
the
see that.
only the only thing I can say with the people that's on the trade block, um, I don't have much comments on T.J. Ward. I'll let what y'all say stand. I don't have anything against what y'all said. I agree with things y'all said. Sheldon Richardson. This has been a long process with him. I remember earlier, like we were interested in terms of the Redskins, and we're ready to offer picks, but Sheldon Richardson wouldn't lower his contract, um, his his salary to come to Washington. So that's a big deal, and an issue with a trade being done is that nobody really wants him at the salary, especially when this is his last. He's on his last contract. He's on his last year of his contract. So these are just things that uh, you have to worry about when it comes to Sheldon. And Matt Forte is a guy that I love, like Thomas. Thomas has the same feelings towards Forte, man. And the thing is, last year he had 7 rushing touchdowns as a 31-year-old running back. It's pretty good. Shows that you still know how to score. And he's still, even though the offensive line of the Jets was not good, he still found ways to, even though it was 3.9 yards per carry. He still got the ball moving, man. Played. I don't think he's had any significant injuries, or he's played through them really, because he hasn't missed significant time throughout his career. I think the most time he's missed was like 3 games a season in one season. So yeah, so uh, I think that Forte and Richardson are the two that I'm interested in seeing where they land. I don't give a fuck about Brock. Sorry, Brock,
Dang,
but
bro.
you'll
What a
live.
career.
You'll live, man. But speaking of quarterbacks, Matt Stafford just re-upped yesterday with the Lions. Um, so via Pro Football Talk, I got the numbers of the contract. Important numbers, really. Uh, $50 million signing bonus, which is the most in league history, with 60 and a half total million total at signing. A $1 million um, base fully guaranteed in 2017, with 9.5 million base fully guaranteed in 2018. 15 mil and 15 mil in 2020 and 12.5 mil in 2022 are the highest um, annual years of the contract. Uh, he will have by 2018 of March 2018, he will have $86 million locked up in guaranteed money. Um, Guarantees though expire after 2020. So essentially, it's like a 3 to 4 year deal in totality. So, uh, Thomas, I guess I'll start with you. What are your thoughts on Stafford's contract, and who do you think's up next to top that?
Man, I looked at that deal and I just, you know, it's a quarterback's market now. That's what they're going to get paid. The next quarterback to get paid will be even higher, and they're going to keep setting a new bar every time a quarterback's getting paid. I think that Kirk will be next. He's smiling in his living room, just looking at that deal, and he knows that he's up next to, have that hefty payday. And all the quarterbacks that'll be restructuring their deals after this, I mean, they keep raising the bar, and they're happy about everyone making more money, and it's really just a matter who's up next. The actual analysis of it and my personal feelings of how I feel about Matthew Stafford now being the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. My first assumption was that he doesn't deserve that. I mean, he deserves the money because he's one of the second, third tier quarterbacks in NFL. But man, I'm gonna throw some numbers out for you, man. He is 5-43 against teams over 500. 5-43. He can't win a big game to save his life. I don't know. Can you name any big games that he's won that really defined his career? Can you think of any off the top of your head?
I know they lost to the Boys in the playoffs 2 years ago.
And even that game, a lot of people say it came down to that penalty. No, but he had the ball with a little bit under 2 minutes left, 2 timeouts, he went 4 and out, and lost the game.
Hey, tell him again, man. It was 8 minutes left on the clock in the fourth quarter in that game. But other than that, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I guess you can think back maybe to that game. What was it? They were playing the Browns, and he dislocated his shoulder, ended up bringing him back to win the fourth.
It's the Browns, though. It's the Browns.
I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's that kind of idea that I have that kind of
against the Skins last year. I don't know. I forgot what he did, but he did some amazing things.
I mean, he's had okay games. I mean, I don't think. He was 5-43. Maybe the Skins were one of those 5 teams, or maybe they had a week at the time. I don't know. But I'll even set it back to all the road playoff games that he's played. He is 0-3 in all road playoff games. He only had 2 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in those playoff games. I'm sorry, only 2 of those were on the road. One was versus Green Bay. So, say that to say, he can't show up in big games. I mean, and I see why he got the money he did. He's completed about 62% of his passes in his career, which is it's pretty decent. I mean, just looking at the numbers on the page, he's thrown 187 touchdowns to 108 touchdown interception ratio, which is also pretty decent. He's 39th overall in NFL career passing yards, and that's about. And he also has the 23rd highest passer rating in NFL all time. So, I mean, those numbers are, they can be deceiving. I mean, you can argue about how he ended up attaining those during the seasons. So I think he has the nickname that some might call him Pad Stafford because he likes to pad his stats in those losses. But, yeah, I definitely don't think he should be the top highest paid player, but unfortunately, it's just the market. So, yeah, that's all I got to say about that.
Nick, go ahead.
Woo, man. Hey. What's the boy from USC?
Sam Darnold.
Sam Darnold. New quarterback for the Washington Redskins, boy. Tell y'all that right now. This whole contract is so bad for the league. And I only say it's because he's not the best quarterback in the league, and he just got paid very well only because his team is not good and there's nobody else to pay in Detroit. So now he puts the pressure.
Hey, what is that noise, man? What are y'all doing?
He puts the pressure. My bad. He puts the pressure on the Redskins to sign Kirk, which they won't, which is fine with me. I don't think Sam Darnold. I mean, he's cool, but I don't know if he's going to be a Dak Prescott or Carson Wentz
or available for the Redskins.
I mean, if they lose out as they should, they can get him at number 1. Wait, do y'all have a first round pick next year, Jamal?
Yeah, we ain't giving no first rounds.
Okay, but yeah, though. I mean, I'm happy for the guy. He just got broke off very well. They probably still won't go to the playoffs this year or next year or probably the year after that. But he gonna be counting them checks, baby. That's all that matters. He got his. He played well enough. I did not know that he was 5-43 versus 500 teams. That is actually a very alarming stat, and I would not pay him. Did you think the Detroit Lions knew that before? Like they just gave him all this bread because it's kind of OC. Um, but quarterbacks to get paid next year is
Yeah, they knew it.
Drew Brees, Matt Ryan, I think A Rod and Kirk Cousins. So next year should be cool for everybody but the Redskins. Good luck though. You know what I'm saying? Good luck, Jamual. I think it's another quarterback out of Penn State who's pretty good. It's a couple guys. So you just be on the lookout during college football. And your next quarterback is going to be a freshman. I mean, a 23-year-old rookie. Know that.
All right. I don't. I don't necessarily. I do have an issue with. I take that back. I do have an issue with Stafford's contract, um, but it's not in the issue as in anything that he's done personally. It's just I think Thomas said it. It's just that he. No, Nick, you said that he met that like the market is messed up, right?
Yeah.
Because yeah, I was about to say Nick said it. The market is just messed up because of these type deals. Like Matt Stafford is the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. Um, he signed this deal at a good time. Um, Futures now, obviously, and I mean, obviously, it'll get topped. Um, it's no doubt about it. Just a few weeks ago, Derek Carr was the highest paid. And he's only been in the year for 3 years. He ain't done shit. He took his team to a 11-win season, but he didn't even win a division title. Um, and we don't know how far they would have gone because he was hurt. So that I won't count against Derek Carr. But I think the thing is, with these contracts, I think it needs to reflect off of. I think they need to do like more focus on, and it's hard because it's the players drive these type things, but um, they need to focus on who's actually more productive and who's actually more successful. Like I understand like there's certain quarterbacks who has their year in a big year for them, like a contract year. Like it's famous now. Joe Flacco year is the most important year for a lot of for a lot of quarterbacks because he didn't deserve $100 million. He really didn't. But he took his team to a Super Bowl in his contract year. So what did the Baltimore Ravens do? They followed through with their promise and they extend him for $100 million. That's what he wanted. That's what he got. He hurt his own team. Speaking of which, Matt Stafford is taking up 16% of the I want to say of the roster, the cap space, um, which is it'll drop in due time. It'll drop, but at the same time, like it's just a lot of money for one person who hasn't really shown he can carry you by himself. Now, Matt Stafford has won games off his arm alone, and I give him credit for that. But at the same time, like I guess we all know that you're paying for competency at the position, and for someone to pay 100 what 150 million whatever it was for competency. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. Uh, and I think the next person up, it's going to be hard to say it's going to be Cousins because I don't think the Redskins is going to pay him that. And when he hits the market, I definitely don't think the market. Maybe San Francisco, maybe Jacksonville. But outside of that, I don't see anybody willing to pay him over 150 million, especially over 90 million in guarantees. But if he has a hell of a year, like better than last year, okay, there's no question. I have room to change my mind. But right now, I don't see him, getting an outrageously insane contract. I just don't see it right now.
You know what's crazy? I think Kirk Cousins would take less money um, at another team. I know he's not going to get nowhere near this contract, but I know for a fact he'll take some more money for another team. Only because next year I don't think TP will stay, and then he's just not going to have nobody. The running game is still iffy. O line got better from what I seen in preseason, but
No, not the Skins O line. It hasn't been. It's first off, Trent Williams and Brandon Sheriff has been looking bad. But I mean, again, it's the preseason, but hasn't looked good right now. But it's nothing to overreact to. They just haven't looked good.
um, and also the offense just hasn't looked good as I don't know what's going on with y'all, but it's like the y'all can't get a first down into the second quarter. Like it's like y'all look bad, which is I'm happy for. Can't even lie, but I hope y'all don't get it together and find out what is the problem. So y'all can keep doing this. Like I'm a-okay. Like the offense looks so bad. Like I feel like HUH could go out there and play and get one first down before the Redskins. Um, but Kirk, San Francisco, Jacksonville will be a good look though. I didn't even think about that. Jacksonville would definitely pay
Yeah,
him.
they're gonna get rid of Bortles.
Jackson, just that'd be a good look. Jacksonville would definitely break Kurt off. Like he might get that huge deal. He might get a huge deal in Jacksonville because there's nobody else to pay. They not that good on the offensive side. But I wish Kirk the best of luck next year after he's not a Redskin anymore. But
Yeah, I'm about to say he ain't gonna be a Redskin.
for this year though, hope he suck just like the rest.
Man, look, I expect it. So, um, it is what it is, buddy. It is what it is. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and close it out with this. For since we all like to talk about our teams, there is surprise players on our roster for our team's roster every year, good and bad. For example, like I just told you, Nick, about Brandon Sheriff. I didn't expect this fool to be looking, so out of sorts for the Redskins. A guy coming off a Pro Bowl year. I don't know exactly what the issue is with him. I'm not a offensive line guru. Um, I don't know at all, but I do see him getting manhandled in the run game and getting put on his ass at times. So I don't know what the technique is. What's the problem? But that's somebody who surprised me in a bad way. But I'm gonna ask you guys as we close out again. Who are y'all surprise players, performance-wise on y'all team? Like I said, it'd be good or bad. It don't matter. But I guess we'll go ahead with you, Thomas. Man, who's your surprise player?
Uh, so I guess one of
State
my
your team affiliation, please, before we get moving.
yeah. So I'm a die hard, and I will die hard for the Philadelphia Eagles on a daily basis. And I've supported my guys over 10 years now, and I've been with them through the tough, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So yeah, we're on the
Damn,
up
you
and
said
coming.
10 years. That means you missed the Super Bowl. You weren't with
No,
them
no,
then.
no. I said over 10 years. So it was back.
Oh, okay. I thought you said
I
10
think
years.
when I started following was probably about 2001, just when they lost to the Bucks in that NFC Championship the first time. No, I'm sorry, not
I
the
got
Bucks,
you.
the Rams. That was when
I
they
got
went
you.
on to the Super Bowl. So yeah, so one guy that surprised me, and they were pretty much really trying to get rid of this guy, and he has just shown up this preseason, is Michael Kendricks. Man, that dude. It seems like he's had a turnover almost every game so far. He just had a pick six last game, and he's really surprised me. I definitely think he's earned his time on the field this upcoming season. I know we in the past we've struggled at keeping a good linebacker core. He's one of the older guys that well, he's not really that old when I say older, but he's been there for a few years back before this linebacker core really got solidified. And yeah, he's definitely surprised me. I have his stats pulled up in front of me, but yeah, he's definitely been making some noise in preseason, sacks, interceptions, defensive touchdowns, you name it. Of one guy that I am a little concerned about, but I'm happy we have him, which was probably Ron Darby. I don't know. Maybe it was just that one catch by Devontae Parker that that kind of had me on the fritz. That I mean, he has great upside. He's fast. We haven't had speed like that at corner. In, I don't know how many years. He's an exceptional talent, but I just want to see him go against the number one receivers day in and day out. He kind of always had Stephen Gilmore when he was in Buffalo to kind of shoulder some of those top tier receivers that they saw, and he's always had a good front seven too to help him on that back end as well. But I mean, this is a turning point in his career. Is he going to be a top tier corner, or is he just going to fall in the middle of the pack kind of corner? And yeah, so I'm definitely worried about him. I haven't seen enough tape on him to, really evaluate, how good he'll be this season. My initial, prediction was that, he won't have a Pro Bowl like season, but he'll have a decent season. Man, our D line is looking awesome. I don't know if you've seen Derek Barnett. Man, he's been one of the top pass rushers in this preseason in the whole NFL. So, I can't wait to see him play. We haven't. I would say I can't. No player really stands out that was just horrific. This preseason.
Well, you ain't got to pick somebody that's horrific,
I
Thomas. You
know.
can leave it at that. It was just
I was naming good players. I wanted to give some of the bad side because we did allow I don't know how many points this past preseason that wasn't great. So. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Nothing jumps out to me on any specific player that just has done horrible. Maybe LeGarrette Blount. I haven't seen much out of him. Maybe a few spurts here and there, but he doesn't really seem to know where he's going sometimes. Yeah, he's probably my standout horrific player.
Nick, what's up, man?
About time, Thomas. You said one, one
I mean,
per.
so
Right.
much good to talk about with the Eagles.
God damn, boy, your
You said it's
mixtape
so
coming
much
out
what?
soon.
So much good that we could talk about with the Eagles. So I figure yours might be quick because you game plan.
No. Uh, Mine's is actually gonna be quick for real. Um, what's this guy's name? Rico Gathers. First two games that he played, looked great. Actually, I think first three looked great. Catching the ball with his hands, caught some balls in traffic. Uh, Moss two dudes for a touchdown. So he looked good. He looked like really good. I think he can play a big factor. Not a big factor. He will get some good snaps throughout the season once he comes back from his concussion. Dak Prescott looked good, of course. Dez looked good. Uh, Darren McFadden and Alpha Morris looked good. Jason Witten looked good. Honestly, I think the whole team looked good. Um, Defensively, not too much good coming on the defensive
Very
side.
surprising.
Ain't gonna hold you, but we already knew this. But Jalen Smith, he looks good. He looks good, ready to go. Can't wait to see him play a full game, but he looks like he's going to be a problem in this league. He looks fast. He looks like he's not worrying about his knee at all. So I would say the whole offense and Jalen Smith, and of course Sean Lee. DBs, nobody really stood out for real. And D lineman Taco had like a sack from like the third string, and so that's not really tight. But matter of fact, no, he did beat Donald Penn.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I know he. I thought he had 2 sacks.
Yeah, he had two sacks. He had one on Donald Penn, which is pretty cool. But other than that, though, like that's it though. He ain't did nothing special. But we already knew this. Said we should have took Reuben Foster anyway. It's another story.
We tried to trade. The Redskins tried to trade up to give Reuben Foster at the end of the at the end of the first. That would have been lit though. Got
Uh,
Jonathan Allen and Reuben Foster, boy. We would have been. I would have been geek. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I would have been deep.
I wonder what he looking like out there. I know he's looking good in training camp, but I ain't see him in the games yet. But it is what it is, bruh. We are stuck with Zach Brown and Mason Foster, and that's cool with me. Um, Personally, for me, that's surprised me in a good way. I'd say a guy named Joe. First, well, it's technically Phil Taylor. And we talked about what happened with Phil in the chat, even though y'all not Skins fans, but Phil Taylor out for the year now with a torn quad.
Who's that?
Tore it last Sunday against the Packers in the first defensive series. He's a nose tackle, first round nose tackle from a few years back, drafted by I believe Cleveland. He's a solid nose tackle, and he's missed like the last 2 years. So with him missing, he missed the last 2 years due to injury. So it's basically just like the Junior Gillette situation, like literally just like the Junior Gillette situation. Different injuries, obviously, but just missing the last 2 years. And Phil just came out on the scene at very active in the trenches, being able to rush the quarterback at the nose tackle position, which was solid. His pass rush moves was there. He was physical at the line of scrimmage, active in the run game, and the Redskins needed a nose tackle for the 3-4, for a long time, and Phil Taylor legitimately looked the part. And then unfortunately he got injured, and now he's out for the year. So it makes 3 years now that he's not played ball technically. Um, and I think that's it for him, honestly, because he was damn near quitting. He was playing video games 8 hours a day before he decided to take this serious and get back um, in the football. So he was the surprise. I guess the runner up would be I'd maybe say um, it's still on defense. I'd say I guess Mason Foster or Zach Brown. No, Chris Carter. Sorry, Chris Carter. He's an outside linebacker. It's so many on the defense because you didn't expect these guys to play that well in the preseason, especially after the year that happened last year. But these guys are looking good, man. Chris Carter's a guy who earned himself on the roster now. That Trent Murphy's out for the season too, with a torn ACL. So um, Chris Carter's a guy who's played himself onto the roster more than a special teams guy. He's also been good as a pass rusher. He's probably been the Redskins' best pass rusher of the preseason, and that's over Junior Gillette, that's over Ryan Kerrigan, Preston Smith. Um, so that's about it in terms of surprises for the good. The bad, I'd say again, um, Brandon Sheriff, uh, Terrell Pryor. Uh,
Hey, how's your boy been doing,
so
Sprinkle?
he hasn't had much time yet. I'm pretty sure he's gonna get a lot of time on Thursday, tomorrow. Well, today really, because this is when the podcast is coming out. It's coming out on Thursday, so um, he'll get a lot of time tonight, and uh, we'll see how he's doing. But he didn't have much time. The first game he was all right. The third game he got in like towards the end of the fourth quarter, because obviously that's the game where majority of your starters and your second string play. So he got in sometime then. So we'll see a lot of Jeremy Sprinkle now tomorrow. See how that
I want to see
goes.
that touchdown
Uh,
dance.
yeah, right, exactly. Because he hasn't scored yet. It's not. It hasn't been a lot of touchdowns for the Redskins. I think we only scored like three, three or four.
Same shot.
So it ain't been much. Um, so yeah, those are my surprises, man. Brandon Sheriff disappointed me. Um, what's his name? Uh, I can't even. Oh, Terrell Pryor. Sorry, that's Drew Blank. So yeah, Terrell Pryor and Brandon Sheriff. That's about it. Kirk
Disappointment.
Cousins. Kirk Cousins has my head scratching. He has me scratching my head. So I don't know what the hell's going on with him. So yeah, it's basically all the surprises are on the offensive side in a bad way.
Did you
So
name any of the running backs? Cause they ain't look good either. To be honest, except
I
for Chris
mean,
Thompson.
the running backs haven't looked good because the offensive line has given them nothing to work with, like literally nothing to work with. Even though you're a running back, you're supposed to create. You still can't create when there's two defenders in the backfield every time you get the handoff. And Chris Thompson hasn't looked good in terms of yards per carry. Obviously, we know what he can do with the ball in his hands, but in terms of yards per carry, just like Rob Kelly and just like Samaje Perine, they haven't looked good at all. And Robert Kelly had his best night. I mean, best day, well, best game of the preseason against the Packers. He had 10 for 58, and that was mainly on like a 20-yard run, where his average got boosted. So it is what it is, man. Uh, these guys, it's kind of rough with them. So I just got your text message, Nick. Who is somebody we know?
Nah, bro. Some little hoodlums outside, bro.
And Nick ain't even recorded. You pointless for even telling us.
Well, I don't blame him recording. He recording the
You're
show,
supposed to
man.
be like
He acting
world
responsible
star.
right now.
It's the last thing dude's supposed
About
to
to
hear
say
before he get knocked out.
on the show, bro. I couldn't just leave and go outside. And I ain't, bro. I don't know these.
Wayne
I
want to
don't
hear
know
about the
these.
Cowboys anyway. You should have went to go record it.
Ah, shit. All
Hey,
right. Well, look.
I'm
I'm about
fucking
to
with
say,
you,
look,
man.
man. We've been talking for we've been talking for a long time, man. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up.
Wrap it up,
We're
then.
gonna wrap this up. Yeah, wrap it up then. Word to Quavo.
wrap it up
Um.
then.
So look, man. We enjoy y'all. We appreciate y'all for listening, and hope you enjoyed the show. Got my words mixed up, but again, remember, check out the homepage, donate, help out Houston. Um, do what you can. Much appreciated. We're gonna talk to y'all next week and get these spreads going. You know what I'm saying? Talk some real football, cause the money talk. That's what it really do.
Yeah,
The
these
money talk.
Knicks picks. Get ready for it. New segment is coming. Jabatum.
It's not a segment. Everybody's getting picks, so Nick will be getting a pick, and Jamal will be getting a pick, and others will be getting picks as well. So yeah, look out for those. Look out for those picks.
Those Knicks
but
picks. Okay.
yeah, we're not doing that. All right, man. Appreciate y'all for listening, man. Hope you enjoyed the show again. Peace. Catch you next week.
Peace out, cuz.